Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what it do, people? These are your heavy hitters, which lets you know this is Tuesday. As you see, I am your man, the sixth man, KStylzz, aka the fullback of AFN, as to my stage. Right, the KOL, the mad scientist himself, Mad Mike Sports. And as y'all see down here at the bottom, we got the minister himself, the calm before the storm, Jew. Talk sports. What's going on, people? Let me go ahead and throw this on here one more again. So you know what we talking about right now. We gotta give a little few moments. I don't know if a lot of people know, but before we do, let's go ahead and give out this Mike, you know what we got to do before we start the show. What we do, Mike? The real roll call. Give a few brief moments to shout out some people here. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to not only Atlanta Falcon Nation, not only Jew Talk Sports, not only Mad Mike Sports, but your boy Six Man KStylzz as well. Um, and like I said, share this to all your peoples, your dogs, your neighbors, your baby mamas, your kids, the kids that ain't been born yet. Share it all to them. But let's go ahead and get this roll call out the way as if I can get to the roll call, if my computer stopped tripping. I think Dirk Cutter taking over it again. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. We got a few names in here. We got Vlad Tepes in the building. We got Joseph Thornton. We got Raheem DeVille. We got Dino Mike. We got Atlanta Nation. We got DJ. We got YMOF Jamal. We got Xavier Littman, Bubba Gump. We got King Quest. And we're going to give a couple more. We got Asia Green. And we got B Tucking Fours. Yeah, as y'all saw at the beginning of the show. Yeah, this one kind of hits a little home to a lot of people. If y'all don't know, y'all gonna know now. The legendary coach, the man himself, all of our childhoods, has passed away this morning at the age of 85 years old. Damn. That's all I can say, man. Damn.
It's tough, bro. Like I wasn't. This it's like one of those legends you lose on Martin Luther King. It's just he's just a legend. It's like in itself, like the reason why a lot of people, you know, love Madden, Mr. Madden is not only for his obvious contribution to not only our childhoods, but as far as video games is concerned, like he was one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game, and he taught the basics. I think that's one thing that we've gotten away from: the basics, running the ball, physical O line, defensive line play. That's what he taught. If you're not tough and you're not smash mouth, Mr. Man don't want no parts of that. He's not a prissy kid coach. He's energetic. He's in your face. And that's what a lot of people from Oakland. That's like for me, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Outside the Atlanta Falcons, I used to love watching the Raiders because I know that team was going to be tough. I know they were going to be physical. And Howie Long was like one of my best growing up defenders. I thought I was Howie Long. You know what I'm saying? I love Howie Long. I wasn't that big, but I used to line up and try to be like Howie Long when I was little. So, like I said, Mr. Madden, that's what he taught: toughness, physical, team play. And I don't think there's a coach out here who knew more about football than him. And that's just the truth.
Damn. You got any Madden memories, Drew, you want to talk about, even when it comes to the game or anything?
Oh,
most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, as he said, the video games, I pretty much had all of the Madden games since I've been alive. I was a huge avid Madden player, but other than just the video games, John Madden as a coach, as a broadcaster, I mean, I just loved everything about John Madden. If you guys ever seen The Little Giants, the movie The Little Giants, when the bus pull up and Emmitt Smith get off the bus, Bruce Smith get off the bus, and they talk about how the game is not only it's more mental than physical, and him just talking about them analyzing the game. Like John Madden, he had that distinct voice on the mic. Nobody sounded like John Madden. Like if you hear a John Madden on the mic, you could tell his voice, like he has a distinct voice, and that's what made John Madden special. Was he was a one of a kind. He's a legend. So
that's why I got that from. Sorry about that, but that's why I got that from. That boom.
Yeah, boom. Yeah. John Madden's one of those guys, man, where it's like he'll live on forever. It's like a Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant passed, God rest his soul. John Madden now, like legends live forever. Even after they're gone, it's hard to believe like that he's gone now, but his legend's gonna live on forever. Whether it's through the video games, whether it's just you going on. Like when you guys told me, I just went to YouTube and pulled up John Madden, like a clip of him on Monday Night Football. To me, he's the greatest of all time, as far as on the mic on Monday Night Footballs. And he was talking about a turducken. It was like Thanksgiving. He was talking about a turducken, eating a turducken. So yeah, like John Madden's is special, man. Like I said, it's never gonna be another John Madden. He was one of one. And like I said, everybody looks up to him. And even if you never heard him call a game, like my son, he's 6 years old. Any kid, you played the game, like he's gonna live on forever. Like I'm pretty sure that Madden video games are gonna keep coming out. Like I said, you can pull it up on YouTube. Like I said, it's just like the Kobe Bryants. Even kids that never seen Kobe play, the Black Mama's gonna live on forever because he was just one of those special icons that everybody knows who Kobe Bryant is. So, I just wish his family nothing but the best. He was 85 years old, and I'm definitely gonna take a ton of memories. But if you haven't seen The Little Giants, he had a clip in that movie where he was really special. Where he pulls up with a lot of, the all-time great Hall of Fame players, Bruce Smith and Emmitt Smith and Tim Brown, former Raider, a wide receiver. So, yeah, man. Like I said, God rest his soul, man. I wish his family nothing but the best. But I got a ton of memories just playing the video games and just listening to him call games when I was younger. And I didn't realize he was calling games in the 2000s. When I pulled it up on YouTube, the one that they were showing, he was talking about the turducken. It was like 2002. It was a game between the Eagles and the 49ers. Jeff Garcia was a quarterback for the 49ers. So, yeah, man, John Madden was real special. Like I said, he'll live on forever. And that voice, like I said, I don't even have to see it. If you play a clip from John Madden, as soon as you hear his voice, you know that that's John Madden. So that's what makes you special, that you don't even have to see a picture. His voice is that unique where, oh, man, that's John Madden. As soon as you hear it, I only had to hear a couple seconds and know that's John Madden's voice, and that's how special he was.
I just say, just for the simple fact that not only did he educate you on the game, but he was entertaining as hell with it. He's exactly what John Gruden tried to be, but didn't work. But
right.
So yeah, like you said, that voice is crazy, man. Like you said,
you get a seal here and a seal there, and boom.
They used to draw the thing. They used to draw on the screen like, "Hey, you see him right here?" Like, exactly.
Legend,
Look. That's what I said. The only thing I say is, boom. 04.
Oh my God.
06. Hold 05. I didn't do it in the right order, but who cares? That's where Madden was at his apex right there. Fell and went downhill after that. But but yeah, John Madden, this guy, like if you haven't heard him, just go on YouTube and just listen. You will get educated. You learn the game. And like I said, a lot of people learn the game just from listening to him. So So like I said, RIP to John Madden. I will be playing one of these games when I get off of here. So just to hear him commentate. But yeah, man. Outside of that, man, fellas, how we doing? We wanted to get that out the way, show our condolences. And it's crazy that he passed. Didn't the John Madden documentary come out just a few days ago? Christmas Day, man. I'm like, wow.
I'll be on that. That's probably what I'm gonna watch later on. I'm definitely gonna watch that. I gotta see that.
Right. But yeah, RIP, John Madden. You live on forever, man. Fuck what they say. So let's go ahead and get right into the show tonight. As y'all come for the heavy hitters, we got the Falcons versus the Bills. As we already know, we are I think they said at least a 13, 14-point underdog in this game. So pretty much ain't nobody's giving us a chance in hell. Most people in Atlanta ain't giving us a chance in hell at this game.
Right.
But if it's 1%, we got a punch a chance. But like I said, let's go ahead and get into these three keys, bro. My brothers. Let's go and get to these three keys, man. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start this one with Mad Mike Sports. Go ahead and kick us off with the Falcons' three keys to victory.
Well, I did something unusual that I haven't done in quite some time. I actually wrote something down. Okay, so you guys can actually check it out. The article on AtlantaFalconsNation.com. The three keys to victory. First one is, I know Jude probably gonna he probably already thought about this. But Josh Allen's mobility. First and foremost, 619 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns this year. And over his career, he's averaged about 540, about 545. So he has a long history of being a playmaker. That offense goes through him. So the Falcons want to win this game. They're going to have to focus on stopping him first. And that, like, the first line of defense, or the best key of players, got to be the edge guys, and that's no particular guy. That's Dion, that's Fourier, that's Dion, there's Dante Fowler, Stephen Maines. Those guys, they have to contain him. No one man is going to contain him. So the edge guys are going to be the outside linebackers, whether in 3-4 or 4-3. Dante Fowler, Stephen Maines, Deion Jones, Michael Walker. I'm not sure if Copeland is going to play, but Ogum, those guys are going to have to keep them within the pocket as much as possible. So the edge guys obviously is the first one. Second one is, and maybe I shouldn't say this one. I'm gonna keep it short. Stephon Diggs and AJ Terrell. I know that's the big one. I'm not gonna go too in depth with that. I'm just gonna leave it at there because I know one of you guys want to expand on it. So I'm gonna keep that one free. Third one is probably the most important for me personally, because I think there's gonna be in the offseason, there's going to be a huge decision made on this particular person. and we're talking about Matt Hennessy. Matt Hennessy one-on-one with Ed Oliver. I know a lot of people remember Ed Oliver.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess he said I'm about to say Kung Fu Panda trying to take over.
Hey, they trying to they trying to get y'all ready. But it's the third one is Matt Hennessy and Ed Oliver. Like I said, we all kind of know that Hennessy has had his ups and downs, and you got a guy in Dahlman who's gonna make his push in the off season. So, God, what the heck is going on?
Look, while you getting that straight, now I'll give a shout out to Darnell Partridge. He said he's new.
Going on? What's going on?
Why y'all trying to? I don't know what they trying to do, man. They got me yesterday.
They trying to shut me down.
Shit. They got me yesterday. Shit, they shut my whole damn computer down yesterday. I was like, what the hell? but shout out to Darnell.
I haven't had any issues all day.
Yeah. I about to say Darnell Partridge, he said he's new to the show. He said, I heard y'all been Falcon fans since Fulton County Stadium. I appreciate you joining us, man. Like I said, everybody showed Darnell some love. But go ahead, Mike. Go ahead and finish it up. Finish what you got.
But we're going to say, again, that's Ed Oliver and Matt Hennessy. Matt Hennessy has had his issues. He's been incredibly inconsistent. We've seen times where he is and has shown that he can be a good center, but his issues, just like he'll have, like this past game, he started out absolutely atrocious. He started out the worst way you can possibly start out as a center or just an offensive lineman. He was absolute trash in the beginning. Then towards, as the game went on, he got a little better. But it's going to be Ed Oliver and Matt Hennessy, the third one for me. First one, Josh Allen's mobility. Second one is the matchup with Stephon Diggs, AJ Terrell. And the third one is the one-on-one Ed Oliver and Matt Hennessy.
Yeah, I see a lot of people coming in with a few of them. We got Bubba's basically saying stay ahead of chains, no stupid penalties, get the run game going early. That's definitely good. Go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and let the minister come in and give us some 3 keys for the Falcons. What you got, Ju?
All right, so the 3 keys for the Falcons to win this game. Mike hit on the first one. Like he said, he knew that I was going to be all over the Josh Allen and his mobility. We know this year, for whatever reason, we struggle against mobile quarterbacks. So in this game, it's important. Dante Fowler, he talked about it. Ogundeji, anybody on the edge. Really, this is for any of the players on the edge. You have to stay in your gaps in this game, and you cannot run past Josh Allen. You can't run past him. You have to just try to keep him in the pocket because he wants to, leave the pocket. Also in this game, we have to be aware of the quarterback power runs because they do a lot of quarterback draws as well, where they'll just act like he's gonna drop back and he'll just take off up the middle of the field. So we have to be ready for the quarterback draws, kind of like when Cam Newton was in his prime. They do a lot of that as well. So limit him from leaving the pocket because that's what Josh Allen wants to do in this game. That's going to be huge because we know the first week when we, or at least the first game we played against Carolina, they ran all over us with Sam Darnold, who's not even really a running quarterback. The first game of the season, Jalen Hurts, he broke the pocket and he was able to get a bunch of yardage because we were running past them. Guys weren't staying in their lanes. Guys weren't breaking down when they were coming on cat blitzes. When our corners were coming, they weren't breaking down and making the tackle. They weren't taking sound angles. And Josh Allen is one of those guys that's an athlete. If you give him a lane, he's a guy that can take it to the house with his legs. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to throw the deep ball and he wants to run. So in this game, you have to play smart. Dean Pease talked about it. The reason that Steven Means is getting a lot of snaps is because he's a veteran and he does his job. He just sets the edge. That's all. All Dean Pease wants you to do is do your job. So in this game, we don't need guys trying to be the hero. We just need guys to play sound football. All 11 guys to do their part and to do what they're told to do on that particular play. For Dante Fowler, don't be diving in. You know, I've been hearing y'all talking about Dante Fowler. Y'all know that's my dog, but don't be crashing down. Don't be doing none of that crazy stuff in this game, because if you do, it's going to come back to bite you. If you take a wrong angle, that's it. So we don't want to give up any big plays in this game. And Mike put it in our chat earlier that the Falcons have actually been pretty good this year. #1 in the NFL as far as not allowing a play over 40 yards down the field. So that's what the Bills live for. My second key to victory in this game, and they put it in the chat, is stay ahead of the chains. On offense, we have to stay ahead of the chains. We can't afford the false start penalties. We have to stay ahead of the chains so we don't allow their defensive line to pin their ears back. We can't get caught up in 3rd and long situations, because we know, we talked about it, Mike's talked about it all year, our wide receivers can't get off press man coverage. The Bills, with Sean McDermott as their coach, who's a defensive-minded head coach, they like to blitz a lot. And I didn't realize, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but I was reading some of the data that says the Bills are the #1 defense in the NFL. Both of their safeties, Jordan Poyer has 5 interceptions, and then Micah Hyde has 5 interceptions. They have 5 interceptions apiece. So their defense is very aggressive, opportunistic. They take the ball away. And if you get in those 3rd and long situations, they are going to pin their ears back and blitz. Sean McDermott believes in blitzing. So in this game, we have to be very careful with not allowing it to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 6 or more. We have to get in those 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and short is what we got to live in this game. If you get those 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 9s, that's a recipe for disaster, especially with this Falcons team, because they're going to double team Kyle Pitts. They're not going to be like the Detroit Lions last week for whatever reason they decided not to double team Kyle Pitts. This week, Sean McDermott, a defensive-minded head coach, he's going to look to take away our best weapon, especially when he decides to blitz. They're going to bracket Kyle Pitts. So this is going to be a game for guys like Olamide Zaccheaus to go deep. Like, this is going to be the game for guys like Russell Gage to prove their worth. This is going to be a game for Hayden Hurst. He was big last week for us. This is going to be a game where I think Hayden Hurst could really do some damage, because their linebackers are not the best in coverage. And I think that could be Hayden Hurst could be one of the X factors. My third key to victory in this game, I'll say the turnover battle. It's going to have to be the turnover battle. And I'm going to kind of cheat because it's going to be 3A and 3B. I'll say it's going to be win the turnover battle and also score in the red zone, score touchdowns. I talked about it in my video that I recently did, talking about the recap of this last game against Detroit. In this game, when you get in the red zone, you have to score touchdowns. You can't come away with field goals, and you have to come away with points, because I really think in the game against the 49ers, we kind of were deflated. When you come away with 0 points, even don't come away with field goals, when you get in the red zone, you have to come away with points, bottom line, whether it's a touchdown or whether it's a field goal. But usually if you come away with field goals, that's where the game swings the other direction, because the Bills are a team that's going to score touchdowns. So as long as it's not a game where it's snowing out, because we know Buffalo's weather is rough this time of year. If it's a game where it's snowing, I don't expect a high-scoring game. I don't expect us to be able to throw the ball in that type of weather. But if it's a pretty nice day out and it's not snowing, in this game, you're going to have to come away with touchdowns and come away with points. Every time you get in the red zone, it's imperative that you score points. I don't care whether you're kicking a field goal or whether you're scoring a touchdown. We can't have any 4 and outs in the red zone. That deflates your offense, deflates the confidence, and it also gets that crowd into it. And we know that Bills Mafia, they die hard. They're going to pack that stadium out, and they're going to be ready. They're going to be drinking whenever they open the gate and they start tailgating, they're going to be drinking. So we got to be ready, because those fans out there are rowdy. They got one of the best fan bases in the NFL. Whether they win, lose, or draw, their fan base is out there. So in this game, you're going to have to get off to a good start. So turnover battle, win the turnover battle, score in the red zone. And that'll be my 3 keys for this game. So first key, Keep Josh Allen in the pocket. Don't allow him to escape that pocket. Second key to victory: stay ahead of the chains. Don't get in those third and long situations, because Ed Oliver, like Mike talked about, Mario Addison, Greg Rousseau, the guy that I wanted out of Miami, beast. He's on that defensive line. AJ Epinesa. They have a lot of guys that they rotate on that defensive line that can get after you. So stay ahead of those chains.
Star, whatever.
Yeah, Star. Yeah, they got a bunch of guys they rotate in that rotation. So stay out of those third and longs. It's my second key to victory. Third key to victory: win the turnover battle, score in the red zone. If we do those things, we'll be right there neck and neck with them, and definitely will have a chance to win the game. Because one other thing I wanted to just talk about briefly, we remember last year when we went up against Kansas City, nobody gave us a chance at Arrowhead, and we basically had the game. AJ Terrell had the game-winning interception in his hands and dropped it. So that's all I'll say about, this point spread, saying that the Falcons don't have a chance. I'll just leave it at that, KStylzz.
Y'all been very informative on your three keys. I kind of agree on a lot of things y'all said. KStylzz got a little gonna hit this first one a little differently. The first key, it's gonna kind of talk about what y'all saying as far as Josh Allen, but this is gonna go really just for the whole game. You're gonna have to tackle better. You're gonna have to tackle. The arm tackles ain't gonna work this week. No, none of these tackles is gonna work. You can't
trying
be
to
sitting
grab
up here.
guys' arms like you
exactly. It ain't gonna work.
Get on the dance floor or something. Like, nah, you can't be doing that.
Be out here doing the waltz and stuff. Nah, it ain't gonna work. Because Josh Allen is a big dude, so you not finna get him down with an arm tackle. But this also kind of goes down to where if the defensive line, the pass rushers does get the penetration to get in the backfield and they have the opportunity to get a Josh Allen down, you better get him down. That's where a lot of his big runs come in at. I ain't gonna say a lot, but that's where a good portion of his runs come in as when people think they got him, but don't finish. So that'd be my first key right there. Yeah, like I said, it's especially cold too. So your ass better tackle. You go out here half-assing out here, you're gonna really feel the effects of the cold weather. Number two. As crazy as this sounds, we gonna have to run the damn ball. Alert, Mike Davis. Alert, CP. Alert, Quadri Olsen. Alert, offensive line. We got to run the ball.
We're going to see some Wildcat in this game. I'm sorry. We're going to have to see some Wildcat in this game just to get that running game going, because it's going to be cold. You don't even think about trying to catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? Don't think about that. They're going to have to run the ball. Like, I think this is the game. My bad, but like that's it. They're going to have to run the ball. Ain't no way around it.
Wide receivers already can't get open, so running the ball is going to be your main option right now in this type of game.
Right.
Third key. You got to be disciplined. All right, well, I take that back. No, this is gonna go with you. I'm gonna switch this up a little different. I'm gonna go with what Ju said. So you see, I incorporated y'all three keys into my keys. You see how I did that? Yes. Turnovers. Protect the football. You got to protect the football. And if you got opportunities to take the football away, you have to take the advantage of those. Josh Allen is a gunslinger. He's not one of those that's gonna throw it in harm's way like that. But he has quite a few moments where if there's an opportunity there for you to get that turnover, to cause that fumble, you're gonna have to do with this game. It's gonna be about field position. This defense is going to have to help this offense with great field position. Like I said, Russell Gage, he had the big fumble last game. It was pretty much similar to the Tampa game. That was it. You're going to have to watch those. We can't afford to turn the ball over. No ifs, ands, or buts. Matt Ryan, like I said, Matt Ryan can't throw interceptions. We can't fumble the ball. Because the one thing is, if you actually look at Buffalo outside of Josh Allen, he's really like their leading rushing guy right now. So you don't really have a threat in the backfield. But don't take that shit for granted. So those be my 3 keys, man. At the end of the day, as AFN, as the heavy hitters would tell you, is with all these 3 keys, it don't matter if you don't do it for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the automatic key for everybody. 60 minutes. So, alert. Mike Davis, you the bruiser, your ass better come in and start bruising some people up.
This is the perfect time for him to be one-dimensional in his vision. This is the perfect time. You're going to be doing all them damn cartwheels and flatbacks or whatever the hell Dante Fowler be doing. Who can't kick? You ain't going to be able to do all that. This is not the weather to be doing that. So Mike Davis, this is the perfect game for you.
This would be the one
you as well. If you get the opportunity to run, this is the perfect game for you. The both of you guys are going to have to be physical in this game.
This would be the perfect game for Keith Smith to run the damn ball. Shit,
right?
Who feed the hot hand? Goddamn it! Whoever ain't running right, feed the hot hand.
Right, that's it.
You could put Lee Smith back there, have him run the ball, whatever. I'll take it. But let's go ahead and get to this next topic. We're gonna go into Mad Mike's comment of the week. As a lot of people don't know, this is what we do here is Mad Mike finds one of the most random ass comments or something that might be up for discussion, and we're gonna have a discussion on it. And the people, y'all can chime in on it as well. Let us know what you think. Let's go ahead and put this comment up here because I thought this might be interesting. And this is from Apex Affairs. He said, we should hire Eric Bieniemy. Sorry, that power run scheme he runs is outdated. It's easy to prepare against. We need to trade Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh for Matt's sake. Hire Bieniemy, let him choose his quarterback, and bring the West Coast scheme to Atlanta. Okay. we come to be as very knowledgeable football fans. Am I correct?
I would think so.
You can say, I would think so. I mean, we do this on a daily basis. Would everybody kind of believe that? Okay, somebody knows something around here. Jude, Mike, I have a question. I'm gonna put this back up. Don't we run the West Coast offense here in Atlanta? I wear glasses and my eyes might deceive me sometimes, but if I remember correctly, I want y'all to explain to me what the hell the West Coast offense is, because I think I saw some eerily similar things that the Falcons are running right now.
I want to explain the running game. You take the passing with the West Coast. What that is.
You want to go ahead, Michael? You want me to go ahead and talk about the passing? So, like the West Coast scheme, like he said, we already are running it. And to be honest, a lot of teams are running the West Coast scheme, their own versions of it. Kyle Shanahan, in Green Bay, Matt LaFleur. A lot of these guys are running some type of scheme of the West Coast offense, or a part of the West Coast offense, which mainly is run heavy, short passes. And that's what you're seeing with the Atlanta Falcons with Arthur Smith. He runs his own version of West Coast offense. When passing, it's a lot of play action. In some schemes like Kyle Shanahan's, it's a lot of bootlegs. But if you watch the Falcons play, and you've seen us play all season, if you're a Falcons fan, it's a lot in our passing. It's a lot of play action heavy, because everything is predicated off the run. So in most West Coast schemes, like you said, you're gonna see a lot of bootlegs. You're gonna see a lot of play action. And you should see a lot of running the ball. So just depending on what style you're running, because it's a lot of different coaches now in the league that's running their own version of it. But the West Coast scheme is mainly heavy play action. You see slants, things of that nature, but everything is predicated off of the run. So, like you said, we're already running the West Coast offense. We're already running that scheme. So I don't know what they mean, but what he means by Eric Bieniemy, we already running that scheme.
I want to hit that, but I'm gonna let Mike go ahead and go, Mike, because I don't see very well, but I'm like,
I just want to read something real quick.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm laughing at these comments. That's all. I just these comments are hilarious.
We can break all this shit down. I already see what the hell he talking about.
But I want to break down one thing in particular. Sorry, that power run scheme he runs is outdated. It's easy to prepare against. And that's one thing that I want to focus on, because the reason why I picked that is because it's absolutely false on any level of football. It doesn't matter whether pee-wee football or high school football, college. Power scheme will never be outdated. Power is one-on-one with whoever is in front of you. That's a man against a man. So you're either going to get beat or you're going to whip him. So it will never be outdated. That's something that you can't prepare. You can't prepare for Ndamukong Suh type of strength. You can't prepare for a what's the guy with the Bucks? That's right.
Yeah, Vita Vea.
Vita Vea. You can't prepare for those Quentin Nelson type power. These guys are powerful. Chris Lindstrom. The reason why Chris Lindstrom is so good is because he's so damn strong. These guys are powerful. So you can't prepare for strength. All right. There's a reason why people did not really want to mess or wrestle against a Brock Lesnar, against a Goldberg, because these guys were so damn strong. These guys are built like freaking Amazon warriors. Like, these dudes are that freaking strong. They're Mark Henry, okay? There's a reason why this man called the world's strongest man. You can't prepare for that type of stuff. So the power running scheme will never be outdated. The issue is your guy really that powerful? Mm-hmm. That's the thing with offensive linemen. Is your guy really that powerful? Guys like Jake Matthews really are that strong. Guys like Jalen Mayfield, he really is that strong. This dude has been manhandling some of the best defensive tackles. He's inconsistent, but he's been manhandling. I've seen him manhandle Vita Vea on several opportunities. Vita got the best of him, but he's actually gotten the best of a lot of guys. So those are the things as far as the power scheme. You're never going to be able to, that's never going to be outdated.
Yeah, because I was about to say my definition of the West Coast offense was get the ball out as quickly as possible and let your damn players let your playmakers make the plays. Mm-hmm. AKA the offense that Matt Ryan should have been in the whole time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to make sure I made sure I wasn't seeing nothing or I got cataracts or something, because I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think the issue why he's saying that is because the biggest difference Because if he talking about this year alone, the biggest difference between Kansas City and the Atlanta Falcons is they literally damn near run the same identical offense. The difference is they got receivers that can get open. The difference is Mahomes is going to innovate. The difference is the receivers can't get open for us right now.
We really don't have a Tyreek Hill. Right. We may have a Travis Kelce, but we don't have a Tyreek Hill. We don't have a Mecole Hardman, a Prince, Pringle. We don't have those guys. We don't have those types of receivers on it.
DeMarcus Robinson. We don't got guys that are fast but can still get open.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to that comment. He said we should hire Bieniemy. What makes you think Bieniemy is going to leave Kansas City? He has an opportunity to take over. He said we need to trade.
Yeah, we don't know if Andy Reid might decide he want to retire. Exactly. Andy done got what he wanted.
Why the hell you think Josh McDaniels tried coaching and went back to New England?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So he said we need to trade Matt to Pittsburgh for Matt's sake. Okay, that's been one of the main things I've been seeing around here the last few days is Matt to Pittsburgh.
I'm sorry. Who the hell do you tell what Matt we need to do for Matt? Don't Matt got a voice in it? Don't Matt supposed to tell you what the fuck you want to do? Nah, man, we gonna get you out of here. I'm tired. No, that's Matt. We need to let Matt do what Matt did, what he want to do. Y'all up here trying to make decisions with Matt. That shit is. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh man, hold on. But let's get to this last part of it. He says, hire Bieniemy, let him choose his quarterback, and bring the West Coast scheme to Atlanta. What makes you think that he might want to leave Kansas City if he already got the quarterback that he's been successful with?
Right.
Like I said, this ain't shit. This ain't shitting on Eric Bieniemy, but Bieniemy has a perfect opportunity to take over for a legendary coach with a team with a damn good team from top to bottom. But defense ain't really that great. But I'm just saying, in terms of a collective unit. Like I said, this is why Josh McDaniels went back to New England.
Mm-hmm.
He had his share of Denver for a couple years, and he said, "No, I'm going back to New England because now you in prime position to take over for a legendary coach who's taught you the game, who let you call plays, that let you in on his secrets, to inherit a quarterback who already been considered the next GOAT. You got the weapons. You got a couple defensive pieces. At the end of the day, this comment basically just sounds like the same shit we've been hearing in the offseason. I'm just saying I'm not going to even repeat it because I'm not even going to do that. But it just screams of we need our Patrick Mahomes by any means necessary. This is like kind of like the copycat stuff that a lot of people like to do. Oh man, let's copy Kansas City. Let's get our Patrick Mahomes. So let's bring in a coach that coach Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna bring Patrick Mahomes to Atlanta.
Or maybe he can get Patrick Mahomes to come to Atlanta. What you got on this, man?
Oh my God. Mean, you guys know that when we were talking about finding a new head coach, I was one of those guys that was pushing for an offensive-minded coach because Matt Ryan has only mainly had defensive-minded head coaches. So I wanted Matt Ryan to get one of those offensive-minded head coaches to come to Atlanta. And Eric Bieniemy was one of those guys that I actually wanted the Falcons to, look at as possibly hiring, but it was prior to me knowing Julio Jones wanted out. I was thinking, okay, you got Julio Jones, you got Calvin Ridley, you add a Kyle Pitts to that mix with Hayden Hurst. Okay, you got something on your hands like a Kansas City because you have the firepower. But once Julio said he wanted out, and then now Calvin's not even here, I don't even really think that Eric Bieniemy will be able to fix the issue that we're having because we don't have the weapons. And Mike's talked about this before, and I don't think a lot of people realize when you talk about the game of football, you're looking at matchups, period. If you don't have the receivers and to get those matchups, it's even like Pat Mahomes. I love Pat Mahomes, but put Pat Mahomes with this Atlanta Falcons offense without Calvin Ridley and with Russell Gage as his wide receiver, you're going to even see his numbers dip. As great as a arm talent he is, without the weapons, and the prime example would be, you guys remember, I think it was 2 heavy hitter shows ago, we talked about Tom Brady and Matt Ryan, like the difference between the two players. We seen, 2 Sunday nights ago, the Saints basically shut the Buccaneers out, 0 points by Tom Brady in that offense because Evans got hurt, because
Godwin got hurt.
Godwin went out for the rest of the season, and we seen him out there with a bunch of backup guys off the street, guys that were next man up. What happened? The GOAT couldn't do nothing. They locked them up, even without a quarterback. The Saints don't even have a starting quarterback right now, and they locked them down, 0 points. So that's what we were trying to say, and it's the same thing with Pat Mahomes. We always talk about it depends on the situation that you're in, and at this point, I don't really think that Eric Bieniemy would be able to fix this issue. To be honest, you guys said on the show yesterday, y'all were talking about a foyer where he was talking about gritty, not pretty. That's what you need when you have a team full of backups. This Falcons team can't be pretty right now because you don't have the weapons. Kansas City can afford to be pretty.
I love you for saying that. I love you for saying that. Say that again, bro. Say it again.
Yeah, when we're saying gritty, not pretty, and that's what Foyer was saying. When you're playing with a bunch of backup guys, like we got, you might as well say our team is the replacements. We playing with a bunch of backups. Let's just keep it real. We playing with a bunch of backup guys. So when you playing with a bunch of backup guys, you got to make the game scrappy. If you guys, I don't know if you guys like basketball, but I'm a huge basketball fan, just like football. It was a reason why the Pistons were the bad boys. They knew that they weren't as talented as a Michael Jordan. But what they had to do, we got to scrum the game up. We got to make the game gritty. We got to turn this into a bar fight. And that's what this Falcons team is doing. We got to scrap by any means necessary because we can't compete talent for talent. And that's what you see in a lot of these college football teams. Bama got 5 stars on every, on the offensive line, defensive line. They got all the 5-star players. So when you got a team full of 1- and 2-star players and 3-star players, you have to scrap the game up. You have to make it a bar fight. You have to make it a gritty game. And that's what this Falcons team is doing. We're not blowing anybody out. We have to just scrap and do whatever we can to stay in these games. Just like this game on Sunday. If you go player for player, we can't match up with the Bills player for player, mano y mano. And that's what Mike was talking about. Mano y mano, we can't match up. But we can make the game a scrappy game, a gritty game, where we make it one of those physical games. That's when you have to make the game physical. You have to run the ball, take the air out of the football, and limit the attempts that the offense will have, meaning Josh Allen. We got to limit their chances of throwing the ball, limit their chances of having offensive possessions because we're just not as talented. It is what it is. So this team, like I said, gritty, not pretty, that's this Atlanta Falcons team, the replacements. These guys out there scrapping because that's all we can do is claw and scrap because we know man for man, we're not as talented as a lot of the teams we face on Sunday. Let's just be real. Without Calvin Ridley, without Julio Jones being on this team, man, mano y mano, we're not as talented, so we got to scrap.
This team is Glass Joe off a punch out right now. Glass Joe got a victory, so that lets you know anything damn happens.
Exactly what they had to do. We gotta scrub the game up. We gotta make the game.
The hell? Who played? Who played? Hey, look, somebody got the replay going on back there. Like, wait a minute.
I'm like, what in the world?
But yeah. Let me, yeah. And I'm out. And then before we get to the next one, I'm gonna just say this one thing. We're gonna go back to we need to trade Matt to Pittsburgh for Matt's sake. You bring that dude to Pittsburgh and he wins over there. This city gonna be sick as hell if that happens. Because Pittsburgh basically got everything he needs.
Other than the offensive line. Other than the offensive line.
The offensive line trash, bro.
Yeah, the offensive line right now ain't what it ain't the Pittsburgh offensive line of
It's not. Well, that's their damn fault. They went from going from what they used to be to trying to be something new.
We talked about this. Football has always been football until these guys started falling in love with the greatest show on turf, not understanding that the greatest show on turf still ran the damn ball like a Peyton Manning. That's the stuff that kills me. They totally forget about Marshall Faulk, Edgerrin James. These guys were rushing and Hall of Famers. And these guys rush for 1,100 yards. You can mark it down 1,100 yards every year. And somehow we just totally forget it and we just going to try to throw for 5,000 yards. That's never going to work.
And like you said, not even just 1,100 yards. You talking about at least 1,700 scrimmage yards at that. So these guys was running the ball, but they was also part of the passing game. So yeah, even though, like you said, even though they was the greatest show on turf, they had balance.
Yeah. And with Mike saying that comment, I just want to add also, if you look at our division rivals, the New Orleans Saints, we seen Drew Brees throw for 5,000 yards. I think it was 2 or 3 seasons in a row. They went 7-9, and that's because they got away from the run and they got away from playing that physical style football. It wasn't until they got back to playing physical football, they went and drafted a Mark Ingram. They went and drafted a Alvin Kamara. When they got back to balancing it out, running the ball, and that was something that Drew Brees actually told Sean Payton. It's like, yeah, I can throw for 5,000 yards. I can throw for 4,000 yards. But when we won that Super Bowl, we had a Deuce McAllister. We were physical. We evened it out. We were balanced on offense. We weren't just 80% pass. You know what I'm saying? And when you balance it out, like Mike said, the game of football is physical. And I don't know if you guys got to see, it was a clip from the LA Rams head coach. And he made a really smart statement where he talked about people don't realize when you run the football, he said the game of football is physical. When you run the ball on every single play, you make the other team tackle. I never looked at it that way. He said, but when you throw the ball, if it's an incomplete pass, it's a chance where you don't have to be physical. If I'm a team throwing the ball all the time, if they don't catch the ball, I don't have to go out and tackle somebody. I don't have to take the correct angles. But if I'm running the football consistently on every single play, you're going to have to tackle somebody. And even if you're on defense, after a while, hitting a big running back, you feel it too on the defensive side of the ball. Even though you inflicting punishment, you taking punishment as well. So you guys got to go look at the statement. I kind of paraphrased what the coach of the Rams. No, it wasn't the coach of the Rams. It was the coach of the Chargers, excuse me. The coach of the LA Chargers. He made a real brilliant statement about being physical and running the ball. And he talked about basically every play, you put the onus on the defense to make tackles. And that's what KStylzz was talking about earlier about us not being able to tackle consistently. When you run the ball and you're a physical team, like when we played the 49ers and they were running the football, you make those guys tackle. You make Deion Jones as a smaller linebacker. You make guys like Foyer. You make guys keep that gap integrity when you're running the ball consistently. So as we said, football is about moving another man against his will at the end of the day.
Right.
So if you get away from that run, we seen with Dirk Cutter how that looked when we became one of the softest teams in the league. All we wanted to do is throw the ball all day. We seen teams pin their ears back and get after Matt Ryan, pin their ears back and get after our offensive line. We seen guys like Jake Matthews talk about when Arthur Smith came in here, like, yeah, man, we're looking forward to getting back to being physical and not always, being backpedaling, but being able to use our size. Jake Matthews is a big guy. he want to be able to go forward and inflict punishment on defense at times as well, and not so much backpedaling on his heels. When you 6'5", 6'4", 300 and something pounds, it's a lot easier for me to run forward and downhill than it is for me to backpedal. And I'll just leave it at that.
Exactly. That's how you get engaged in the game as an offensive lineman. You want to go forward. That's the whole purpose of football, is to take your ass that way. Not this way. Not that way. Me, that way. You. I had to do that right quick. It was setting up to go like that.
You.
But yeah, man, definitely. I want everybody to go ahead and start throwing a couple questions in here. We normally would do the 3 keys for Buffalo. Damn that. Damn that.
We got a lot of material tonight. We got a lot of material tonight, so we may just skip over that.
Yeah, we pretty much covered the Bills' 3 keys and our keys for the Falcons. When you think about it,
right.
So
we a little bit unique over here, man.
Yeah, so we gonna damn that, because the only thing Buffalo Bills gonna be looking for is jumping through tables drunk as hell. That's all they do, jump through tables. But the one thing that we've always said about them is them fans ain't seen before a couple years ago. Them fans ain't seen a playoff game in damn near 20 years, and they still jumping through damn tables. But but like I said, go ahead, y'all go ahead and get some questions in here. We're gonna try to hit over with the AFN flyover. And this is why we say y'all better put them questions in there. Or we will go rambling on about something random here. And we ain't trying to do that. But while we're doing that, we're just gonna wait for some questions. We're just gonna hit a few comments up. We're gonna hit a few comments up. I saw it earlier. Andrew G here said we need to use CP more as a wide receiver, and Mike Davidson and Olsen would step up or step off. That's what they get paid for. Easy to cover pits, watch games because we ain't got nobody.
We don't.
What do y'all feel about that?
No, we don't need to use CP no more. He's 30 years old. He's not. He doesn't have that same initial burst that burst that he had earlier in the first couple of games. We're starting to see it. We need to get other guys. Other guys need to step they behind up. All right. This is why I said earlier this week, I don't want to give. I thought about, CP and potentially giving him a 4-year deal by $40 million. I don't think that's a smart thing to do, because we're seeing now he doesn't have that burst that he once had early in the season. You kind of see teams kind of taking him away and forcing us to, get the ball to a Russell Gage and get the ball to a Zacchaeus. So at the end of the day, I think you bring back CP, but you don't use him, because one thing we got to realize, playing running back is a physical position. And putting him at wide receiver, where he's going to have to focus on his cardio, you gotta be in elite shape to be a receiver. Okay, let me just say that people don't realize you're literally running full speed almost every play. That's the last thing that you want CP doing, is playing wide receiver right now consistently. So we don't need to give him the ball. If we're going to give him the ball, give him the ball on screens, how we've been doing lately. There's a reason why he be using CP with screens and whatnot, because he's just we overachieved with CP. Let's just keep it real. We overachieved with him, and at the end of the day, he has a ton of miles on his body. He's been one of the greatest return men the games have ever seen, and he just has miles. So I feel as though we need to continuously try to find a way to get Hayden Hurst and Kyle Pitts the ball. don't focus on CP. If CP is open, if CP can make a play here and there, you do it. But I would not force feed him the ball. He's at this point. You bring him back next year to be a tutor for a guy that you probably be, prime for that kind of, prime him for that position to be a CP. But you don't want to use CP up this year, especially when the potential for the Falcons to get in the playoffs, and then you get in the playoffs, you don't ran CP through the ground before you even got to the playoffs. Don't want to do that.
That's why and that's why I said earlier in the year about like I said, what is the threshold of how much they're using him is going to affect him later in the season. Now, I think the issue more so is not the fact that they're using him, it's just the fact that they're using him more at running back instead of just letting him just be the athlete. Like you said, the screen game, the swing game. A guy that can run them Texas routes out the backfield. Just something to where he ain't got to have all them hits as a running back. So because we look at him and say, well, he's 6'2", 230 pounds, but he's a wide receiver. Wide receivers are used to getting hit by corners, not defensive linemen and linebackers. Those are two different hit powers. Y'all should know that.
Right.
Would you rather get hit by Jalen Ramsey or Aaron Donald?
Would you want to get hit by KStylzz, who's about 280 something now, or you want to get hit by MagMike, who like a 190? Okay, you make the
choice. Look, my journey's been good because I was at 320 a couple months ago. So I'm down to pass rusher. I'm down to pass rusher status right now. I used to be a run stop. I'm a pass rusher now.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I think with CP, like y'all said, I mean, I want to see them use him in different situations. Like y'all said, I think that they kind of have lost all confidence in Mike Davis. And I feel like they need to go back to him because I don't remember what game it was that he scored. I think it was against Tampa when he scored that like 15-yard touchdown run where we came out and we basically CP broke off a big run and then Davis broke off a touchdown, a pretty decent touchdown run. But I would actually go back to Mike Davis a little bit more, like KStylzz said. We brought him in to be the bruiser. To me, I'm seeing too much of CP on the goal line. Unless you're getting ready to throw a toss, if you're running up the gut, put Allison in there, put Mike Davis in there because they're the bruisers. I don't know why they're using CP so much on the goal line. I want to see a little bit more Mike Davis. I think Mike Davis is a guy that after he got basically chewed out by Arthur Smith, which you heard CP talk about, basically they got cursed out at practice and in the film room. Give Mike Davis a chance. Like he should have fresh legs. Like Mike said, he ain't doing that. He hadn't did nothing all season. I think the most he rushed for in a game maybe is 50, 60 yards. Like that dude's legs should be fresh. Give that kid the ball and tell him run downhill, especially in this game against Buffalo when it's about to be cold. Give that dude the rock and tell him run downhill. And if he can't do it, put Q in the game because I seen Q against the Patriots run downhill. And we know the Patriots are one of the toughest defenses in the league and one of the most stout defenses against the run. And Q made it look easy. Only thing I'll say with Quadra Olison is just hold on to the football. We seen him drop the football, which I really think was rust because he hasn't really been getting game snaps. So you got to get used to, like KStylzz said, getting hit by those linebackers. The reason Q fumbled that ball is because he hasn't been acclimated to playing. So I would acclimate those guys. So I agree with the statement that he made about using Q a little bit more and using Davis a little bit more because I think they're kind of wearing CP out with all of that running. I really feel like they need to balance out that rushing attack. And like KStylzz said, I want to see them go back to what they did against the Saints where they split him out wide. Like once they see what defense you're in, split him out wide against the linebacker because linebackers can't cover him. his straight line speed. And that's what they did a couple times against the Saints. They came out in what it looked like to be a heavy set, and then Matt Ryan just audible and put CP out there against the linebacker. And like I said, the game is about matchups. No linebackers matching up with CP with foot speed, just straight off the line. He was killing whoever they put on him at linebacker. He's just too quick off of the line. So that's what I want to see them do. Not necessarily him being just a plain wide receiver where you just split them out wide, but come out like you're going to run the ball. And then when you go no huddle or something like that, split them out wide where you force a linebacker or you force a safety to guard him one-on-one because they can't keep up with him.
And shouts out to Miss Maggie T. She said, hey, we at 9:58. Hey, we 42 away from the big 2K. Help some brothers out here. If you haven't subscribed already to Atlanta Falcon Nation, but we definitely appreciate everybody. I see Tramway here talking trash. I'm about to say he want to find out if I could tackle. We could set a game. We could set up an Oklahoma drill. I might be good for one hit, but that's about it, boy. These knees is 47 years old. I'm 34, but my knees is 47, so it ain't gonna work.
Right.
No. Well, I've seen this question a couple times here. And I've actually been seeing this for the last couple weeks now. It's like, should the Falcons try to get Davante Adams from Green Bay for next year? I got one question about this one. With what money? With what money? we already gonna be strapped for next year. If you get Davante Adams down here, that's literally gonna be your whole off season right there alone. We got 24. We got about 24 to 26 roster spots we got to fill. Now, it sounds good if we had the money, if we had enough, if we had Jacksonville Jaguar cap money, if we was in that situation, that'd be something interesting to do. But when we got a situation we got now, you can't afford it. And plus, I would rather pay to get a rookie wide receiver that's going to cost less. That is good. That can be good. Because remember, Davante Adams is a third-round pick. He ain't a first-rounder. So you just have to get the wide receiver in the draft, and I'd rather deal with that. Because it's going to be cheaper. And it's going to be cheaper. Right now.
I actually had I might go in depth. Well, I'll just do it now. Forget it. I actually put an article in our chat earlier today, and it was pretty much stating what the Falcons as far as their staff is concerned. You got guys like Kyle Smith. But most importantly, Terry Fontenot. Fontenot by trade is a pro scout. Okay, got to understand what a pro scout is. A pro scout is a guy that scouts the entire NFL for guys that specifically fit a scheme. And pro scouts typically don't like to spend a lot of money, okay? They don't like spending a lot of money. They're not going to go out and get these big high-priced free agents and whatnot. So when you have, and I know you guys are not going to like this, but when you have a guy that's your general manager and the Falcons have let them know that they have, even with Thomas Dimitroff, they did not like going out and spending a lot of money in free agency. Falcons always wanted to build their franchise from the ground up, all right, from the draft. Going back to the days of Jerry Glanville, these guys have always built their draft. They built the team through the draft. And very seldom they would ever spend money in free agency. So what that means is we got to get used to seeing the Falcons. They're going to get guys that fit long term in the draft. Long-term guys in the draft. So we got guys like Devontae Adams who are free agent. Don't get your hopes up. It ain't happening. It's far more likely that we bring Calvin Ridley back, make it work, or we draft a wide receiver. So it's one of the two. Don't get happy. We're not paying on Devontae Adams because what if he doesn't fit our scheme? And now you done paid this guy $60 million for a guy that doesn't fit scheme. And we've already seen what that happened with Carpenter, with Jamon Brown, and Ray Edwards, and man, the list goes on and on and on. So go ahead, KStylzz.
Yeah, I remember that offseason where Randy Moss got traded to the Raiders, and everybody thought the Raiders was going to be great.
And you see what that did.
Like you said, it's a catch-22. It sounds good. But when, like I said, it ain't like you. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I just want to say like this. Like I said, it ain't like you got 50 to $60 billion worth of cap space, and you only got about 10 roster spots to fill. You got right now might be at the most maybe $28 to $30 million, and you got to fill 24, 25 roster spots. Yeah.
So that's where that's exactly where I was going with it. That's exactly where I was going with. This guy's a pro scout, and he's not looking to spend a lot of money. He's already given us a blueprint of what he wants to do now. They want to bring in guys that's going to fit their scheme offensively, defensively, and they're going to build around that through the draft and build around that in free agency. Sign solid guys like Harmon, Deron Harmon, and Eric Harris. These guys, they know what they're doing. They know the game. They're smart. They're intelligent. And they're going to come in, teach the young guys. And then when the young guys get older, they're going to throw them out. And they're going to bring in a replacement. That's what they're focusing on. We're getting back to what the Falcons were already. What people don't know about the Falcons, Deion Sanders was drafted. Remember that? Yeah, Deion, we drafted Deion, okay? Another thing, we actually drafted Mike Vick. Yeah, we drafted Roddy White. We drafted Julio Jones. So when those guys got up to speed and they became big-time players in the league, that's when you can make the moves for a guy like Tony Gonzalez, who's already out on his way out. A veteran guy that just wants to win. He got a solid defense. They got a solid offense, and he can make a. So those are the times that you make deals for guys who are veteran, guys like J.J. Watt, who may want to take one more chance or two more chances to win a championship, and he comes in like a Dwight Freeney. We've done this before. Take a chance on a Dwight Freeney. Come in, be a guy that can play alongside a Vic Beasley, and they end up getting to the Super Bowl. Or Courtney Upshaw, those guys that could be an asset to these younger guys. That's the blueprint. So I know everybody all happy about free agency, and we don't have this. Look, there's a reason why they're taking that approach to the offseason right now. We're not going to be spending a lot of money like that. We're going to spend money on solid guys like Barkevious Mingo. That didn't work out, but those are the types of deals you're going to see with the Falcons. You're not going to see a lot of, you're not going to see a lot of big time free agents being brought in here. So, like at the end of the day, I know this ain't the type of football that we're used to since we've seen a Matt Ryan in the last 3 to 5 years. We're just used to going out and getting all these pretty wide receivers, getting all these pretty defensive ends, and they end up doing nothing. That got us nowhere. So guess what? We about to go some ugly football where we know it works. Ugly football works. At the end of the day, that works.
Hey, I'm about to say here, I'm on sportstrack.com. We talking about Foyer and we talking about Cordero Patterson. There's one potential free agent from this team we haven't even discussed yet. Isaiah Oliver.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot to go down.
Well, like what Mike was saying, at the end of the day, to be a winning franchise and to win consistently, you have to have those scouts that have the eye for talent and that knows how to bring in talent that fits your scheme. Because the way that the salary cap is set up, that's the reason we're seeing parity across the NFL. Like this year, you got a bunch of teams that are 6-9, 7-8, 8, like all these teams are right there in the wild card race because right now it's really parity in the league. Even when it comes to talent, it's parity in the league because of the salary cap. And you're not going to be able to pay everybody. We've seen that with the Super Bowl team because pretty much all of the guys that was a part of that Super Bowl team are gone. Like we seen when Devondre Campbell's, his contract was up, his rookie deal was up. That's why we had a guy like a Foye Lil-Khan that was in the backdrop being developed to replace a Devondre Campbell. You see what I'm saying? So you have to have those guys. Even like we're talking about Isaiah Oliver. If somebody gives Isaiah Oliver that big contract because he balled out, he will be coming off an injury. But if somebody sees him out there and really wants to overpay for him, then you always have to be developing guys. It's the same thing with Foye. I love Foye, and I think that he's going to get paid. But if, say, another team tries to pay him like crazy money at that linebacker position, it's a reason why they're grooming Michael Walker, because he could be the guy. Like I said this before on one of our shows. Everybody keeps talking about Deion Jones. Deion Jones is already under contract. The guy that we possibly would move would be Foye. Like, I know we don't want to hear that, but he's the guy that's really on the hot seat. He's the guy that he's possibly going to have to take some type of pay cut. Like, he may not be able to get that highest paid linebacker in the league. Like, he ain't getting Darius Leonard money for the Colts. They just got that huge contract for the Colts. He's not getting that type of money. If he wants to stay in Atlanta, he's going to have to take a reasonable deal to stay here in Atlanta. If he's not willing to take a reasonable deal, they're going to move him and they're going to insert Michael Walker. Because what a lot of people are forgetting as well is, say we do lose Foye, you can make Deion Jones the Mike linebacker again. He was a signal call all of these years. And you can just swap him and Michael Walker and let Michael Walker play the role that Deion Jones is currently playing. Or you can let Michael Walker play the Mike. Either way. But at the end of the day, I think they'll keep Foye. But if he's asking for crazy money and we're not willing to pay that money, that's why you have those scouts. And that's why we keep talking about, it's not about where you pick in the draft. It's understanding the talent. Like you talked about, Devontae Adams wasn't a first round pick, but he's arguably the best wide receiver in the game. He's up there, top 5, top 3, whatever you want to say. So it doesn't matter where you're choosing in the draft. It's about knowing what players to choose when you have those picks. And I think Terry Fontenot was one of those guys. Like I told you guys, he was in the grassroots. His roots is being a scout. When he was with the Saints, he wasn't a GM. So he understands, he has an eye for talent. And that's the reason we got Anthony Rush on our team for cheap. That's the reason he went out and got a Mike Pennell on a cheap deal. You see what I'm saying? And he got those guys off the street, just randomly brought those guys in the middle of the season. And they were kind of like what the doctor ordered as far as helping us be able to stop the run. So I definitely think that we got the right coaches and we got the right type of coach here, because we've seen the New Orleans Saints. They're forever pulling somebody off the street I ain't never heard of, and they produce. Let's just be real.
Right. Yeah.
They produce.
I think 9 out of 10 they'll probably franchise for you. I think that most likely might be the move for him.
Unless he's willing to take that deal, like I was talking about, where he's not looking to be the highest, like he's trying to get that highest paid contract, he gonna get franchise tag, or he not gonna be here. They're gonna tell him, like, look, this is what we got, take it or leave it. It's gonna be real, like a real cutthroat contract type situation. It's not gonna be we're maneuvering, we're trading Deion Jones, we're doing all this extra stuff. They're not gonna do all of that. I don't see them doing all of that. Like, it's gonna be too hard for them to try to maneuver Deion Jones out the door just to keep Foye and give him the money he wants. So I think Foye, I don't see him putting the Falcons in that situation, but we'll see. The good news is we've seen Michael Walker play and we've seen what he's capable of. So that's the good news of why you always have to be continuously developing your depth. It's important to have that depth on your team because you never know what a player's thinking. We've seen Julio Jones just at a drop of a hat won out. You never know what guys are thinking.
And if y'all haven't heard that, let me say it for the people in the back. You win through the draft.
Exactly.
Not trading for quarterbacks who may not even be free man in damn a couple of months. So let's just keep it real.
This is not Madden.
Exactly.
You win through the draft. You win through scout.
Gotta be able to develop talent. That's what it just comes down to. Gotta be able to develop talent.
Exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and wind it down for tonight. This was definitely a good informative show. As always. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all continue to support everybody that's up here. Make sure you support Atlanta Falcons. Support 6-Man KStylzz. Support TalkSports. Support AskMADMIKE Sports. But at the end of the day, what we look for in this Falcons team, what we look for the Falcons' future, is through the draft.
Gotta understand that.
You gotta understand that. You gotta it is not just drafting the most. It is not just drafting the guy because he's from the city of Atlanta. It's not drafting the guy because he's the most popular name you want to see. You don't have a say in that. They got to build this team from the ground up from where the last regime left it. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and get to the final thoughts, man. The final plugs, or however the hell y'all want to call it. I ain't got a name for it, but gonna go ahead. We're gonna pass that rock to Jew. Let you kick us off with your final thoughts, man.
All right. So, as we know, this is a big game Sunday. You know, for us going up to Buffalo, we the road warriors, as they say, and this is gonna be a playoff atmosphere. Like, we want to get in the playoffs. This is going to be a playoff game on Sunday. It's going to be cold outside. We talked about it on numerous shows. What travels in the playoffs, and when November, December hit, it's a running game, and that's that defense. That's what travels. So we're going to see on Sunday. You know, I expect this to be a great game. A lot of people think it's going to be a lopsided game, but I really expect this Falcons team to show that grit. And it's going to be another gritty, not pretty type game. I really expect the Falcons to come out here and shock the world, shock a lot of people. And this really is a litmus test. I love saying that this is a litmus test for this Falcons team to see in Arthur Smith's first year how far you've come. Arthur Smith talked about early in the season, you know, from September when we got our tails whipped against the Eagles in that first game. He said the guys are going to get better and better and that your team should be different. From the beginning of the season to the end of the season, you should see progress and we should see a different team. And I think that we're seeing it right before our eyes as we watch this team week in and week out. We're seeing the growth of the Jalen Mayfields. We're seeing the growth of the Ogundejis. And that's what I love so much about this gritty Falcons team is that all of the guys they pretty much took in the draft, we mentioned with our previous regime, wasting talent and not playing guys that they drafted. Well, this team and this coach, they're playing these guys, whether it's by choice or whether it's because we just don't have the depth. We're getting to see these guys. And one thing that you can't teach is experience, actually going out there and doing it. Yeah, you can be in practice, you know, developing in practice and stuff like that. But that game speed, when the bright lights is on, is totally different. So one thing that this team is gaining, whether they make the playoffs or not, is that experience of actually going out there and playing in games that matter, playing in tough situations, understanding what to do in certain situations. So that's one thing that I love about this team and what I've seen. That's how they have progressed from game 1 to game 16. I think we're in week 16, 17. We're seeing, I think this is week 17 we're heading into. We've seen the growth, and that's what you want to see. If you're really a football fan and really like a coach, what coaches like to see is, are you making the same mistakes that you made in week 1 until now? Or am I seeing the progress? And with this team, I'm seeing the progress. We're going to have to be patient, which we said, and we've been saying it all year long as we've seen the ups and downs of this team. but I'm proud of this team and the way that they stuck it out. Just listening to Matt Ryan and the veterans on this team, he talked about being proud of the way that these guys have fought all year long. Matt Ryan's talked about, I appreciate them not relying on me. It's basically what he was saying, is that the defense did something for a change. They won the game. It wasn't on my arm. Matt Ryan talked about he would rather the game, he'd be able to decide the game. But it was refreshing to me to see that the defense was the reason that we actually won a game for a change, and they actually stepped up and they picked each other up, as I've heard you and Mike was talking about yesterday. Sometimes you need the defense, you need the special teams, you need somebody else to pick you up. So I've been really proud of this team. Well, like I said, whether we make the playoffs or not, this team has been competitive all year long. To be 7-8 in Arthur Smith's first year, I couldn't have asked for nothing better, playing in games that actually matter. Because at this point last year, we was been eliminated. 4-12 was our record last year. So to turn it around and to do it with the guys that you have, never in a million years I would have thought that this team would be able to do what they did without Calvin Ridley, to do what they did without a Julio Jones. But they still are right there knocking at the door to possibly be in the playoff hunt. So shout out to those guys. And I just want to leave you guys with this. I'm having a lot more content coming for you guys this week. I had a couple of the fans that reached out, or my subscribers that reached out and asked me to do some videos. So I'm going to be dropping those videos this week. I had a fan ask about Jake Matthews, me doing a Jake Matthews video. So y'all stay tuned for that this week. Also a video about Calvin Ridley. So stay tuned to that. TalkSports, definitely go over, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Atlanta Falcons Nation, we're both on a road to 2,000 subscribers. So you guys make sure y'all hit everybody here on the platform, Mad Mike, Six Man KStylzz. We appreciate you guys continuing to tune in. And like we said, man, let's go out here, let's shock the world and beat Buffalo on Sunday. And let's just try to stay in the hunt, because at this point, we don't control our own destiny, but we can lead, in this season on a high note, whether it's playoffs or whether it's just winning, having a winning season. Let's do that for Arthur Smith in this first year under him and Terry Fontenot, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, man, Mike, what you got for him? What you got for the people? Muted, Mike, you're muted. There you go.
At some point, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, all right, what are you doing? You got to look at yourself, say what you're doing. And it goes in all aspects of life, including football. And as a general manager, as a coach, as a quarterback, a running back, what do you do to help a situation? Did you help the team get to a point where we all are happy and we're all having success? What did you do? So when I see things like, all right, we need to get rid of this guy because, he's not being treated right. What did the defense do? The defense really do what they do, all they had to do? Did they really play well? Did they tackle well? Did they go out and actually compete against their said guy, their said opponent? Like, did you really go out and give it your all? That's where everything begins and ends. Like I said, whether it's life, whether it's football, you got to look at yourself and say, what did you do to help the situation? You go and try to convince a coach, man, I don't think this guy is going to be the guy that's going to get us over the part. Knowing that you have another agenda, you just don't want this guy to be in here because you want a receiver or you want a cornerback. Is this really going to make the team better? Is trading this guy going to be best for the overall picture of everything? That's what we really got to focus on as this team continues to go on. What is really going to get this team to the next level? Because we can sit up here and say all the time. We can sit up here and say that Matt needs to retire or this person needs to be, traded or, whatever the excuse may be. This is why I've been so hard on a guy like Calvin Ridley. Yeah, you're having your issues, but as a man of faith, we all know that if you're not going out and helping your brethren, your sister, that may be the problem. Giving. Learn to give. Learn to put out that positive energy, and you will. I guarantee you. I promise you this. It's something I will promise you. You will. You put out that positive energy. You go out and actually help people. Good is gonna come back to you. Even if you feel like it's your darkest days, that positive energy that you put out is coming back to you. So we can sit up here and talk about, I'm depressed. When you depressed, positivity. Doing what you got to do to make sure somebody else is okay. Calling a Calvin Ridley, calling a whoever your friend may be. You know what I'm saying? I know I took a little bit of a turn, but that's the issue. What not only with the Falcons, but the way of the world. Everybody wants, but nobody's willing to put out that positive energy. Everybody wants to receive instead of putting it out. That's all I got to say about that. KStylzz, you got it.
And that's what makes you a sugar baby. But here at AFN, y'all already know what we always say. We ain't here to play. We here to stay. You ain't got to go home.
But you got to get the hell out of here.
Dude.